The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the New Media Factory. Some programs on this network might include strong images and language and may not be suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hi everyone, welcome to another show of The Bobbery. Today, as has been fashion in recent times, no, it's not my haircut, it's Jay is missing. We have another guest who is supposed to walk in if he understands that he should come to Beyond the Box and that we're not filming in the store itself, but actually in a room in the back. But if you're not in the store at Beyond the Box and you like Apple and iPhone and iPads and everything which has an eye in front, just check out their Facebook page for the latest promos and updates, and I'm done. With that's everything I know about today, so like I'm going to let those two guys talk because I had a difficult weekend. So have fun, guys.
Okay.
Wake me up if I snore.
Alright.
Don't start fighting for who goes first.
Go ahead. No.
Small introduction, Mony.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Mony Romana. I'm a professor for music business in College of St. Benilde and in Mint College, and I worked the labels for a while, so I will get those.
Don't worry, we won't hold that against you.
Yeah. I worked for EMI and Sony and Warner affiliates here before I came out of the dark.
I was just gonna say, you want us to quickly call Basti and Tirso over here?
Yeah, the stories that they were having. I'd understand.
Thanks for joining us on the show, Mony. Dave?
I'm Dave Overton. I'm the founder of Symph. I'm from America originally, but I live in Cebu now and I call Cebu home. So I was up here for Startup Weekend. Franky asked if I wanted to come on the theBobberyCast. My interest in music is actually, I have a lot of friends who are musicians, and so one of them came to us and said, can you make this product for us? We want to sell, basically cards that people can download our music with, because making CDs in 2013 just doesn't make sense anymore. So we said, yeah, let's do it. So we had a little hackathon and we did it in one day, and that is now Rocket Dub. So it's a little startup we have. It's mostly to empower Filipino musicians. So, yeah.
Thanks for coming on the show as well.
No problem.
I like what you guys did with Rocket Dub. We reviewed it some weeks ago on the website, and I personally, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It is, I go to a concert, oh, we have CDs for sale. Yeah, but I don't have an optical drive anymore.
It's true. I mean, Apple has always been eliminating disk drives. With the first iMac, they took out the floppy, and now they've taken out the optical disc. And it's really true. I can't remember the last time I used an optical disc, especially an audio CD. And so it still makes sense for artists, though, to have something tangible to sell at a show. To me, even if an artist was up on stage and say, okay guys, go to iTunes and download my latest album, it doesn't really make sense. It doesn't, I'm not going to pull out my phone in the middle of a show and buy now, 99, okay, yeah.
Or you suddenly have everyone who are on Android and they pull out their phone, oh look, mTorrent, hey, I got you there!
Exactly.
But yeah, I like the fact of something tangible, it also serves as a gift.
Yeah. And a big thing here too, even if you did want to support the artist and buy on iTunes or another music store, you usually need a credit card. And let's be honest, not everyone in the market here has a credit card. So what are they going to do? They probably have a smartphone or a laptop or a netbook or a tablet, but you can't put your CD into those. There's no technology to kind of scan it in with a phone app. So it's just trying to meet that need and basically bridge the gap of, it's great that we're digital, but we're still very, based in a prepaid world here. So.
But not just that, the culture is also changing, especially among fans. And by that I don't mean those who watch Top of the Pops and listen to the charts. But like, after everything that his former employers have ripped us off, and Bono, thank you as well. I think I have bought over the years at least 7 editions of Joshua Tree, if not more.
Yeah.
Like I think you know some stories about that, but like now they owe me.
They do.
I want my money to go like, yeah, Steve, you get enough of money from me. I don't need to buy via iTunes anymore.
Yeah.
And we got Jay walking in.
Yeah.
His hair looks like mine several months ago. Well, not that bad, but he's joining us now.
Yeah.
Hi, Jay.
Hi.
Manila traffic.
As usual.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
But yeah, and that's a great element as well, because despite never using them, if I go to a gig, I would actually still buy the CD.
Right.
And rip it as an MP3 then.
Exactly.
But of course, if there's downloadable codes, that makes more sense, goes faster.
Yeah.
And you guys built that you can download directly via Facebook.
Yeah, we integrated with Facebook, and we didn't take it further. We could, if clients said we want to do it via Twitter or we want to do it via our website, we could easily do that. But we went with Facebook because we realized a lot of bands these days, especially smaller indie bands in the Philippines, they don't even go as far as having a website.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
easier to just create a Facebook page, and so this just installs as an app on Facebook. It's easier for them to manage it, and honestly, our pricing it's in beta pricing right now, but it's 5 pesos a code, and what that does is we're allowing the artists to resell their music for whatever they think it's worth. We're just trying to help them sell it digitally. We're not.
And you guys also store it.
We store it.
Provide,
Yeah, it's stored in the
hosting.
cloud. So basically, like, to be quite honest, we don't really make a margin. It's more about recovery costs for us. But we like music and we want to help musicians, and we feel like we've all read the stories of starving artists, and we don't want to see starving artists in the Philippines. We want to see them empowered and make some great music. So yeah, and I mean, if the labels want to come in later and build something on top of us, that's fine. We have an API, so we're not opposed to labels, but I think they've kind of chosen their own route.
I actually mentioned Rocket Love to the labels when I did a presentation to them a few weeks back. They were intrigued. Actually.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
How did they feel about a platform which would not take massive fees like iTunes, which is totally based on the modern landscape? Everyone has a smartphone, everyone is on Facebook and can download it directly, but you still have something tangible.
Yeah. Well, that meeting was quick. That was like me 30-minute presentation and everyone was out of the door. Because they had their problems.
Yeah.
They were facing other. But a few approached me and said, let's talk. Let's a labeler to actually said, they actually mentioned Rocket Lab. That's an interesting concept. Let's talk in the future. I'll hook you up.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I get it. Like, you had a presentation, half an hour, and they had problems. They were all thinking like, now we know how they are disrupting us. After you pitched over everything local, there's Carlos, 41,000 sales without using you guys.
I mean, all it takes is one label to, go to the other side.
Yeah.
Who knows, right?
Yeah.
Actually, the label head that approached me first isn't even a local. It's like it's an affiliate. And they said, he specifically mentioned, I really took note of your of just the word disruption, and they're up. That he's game for that. I don't know how his bosses will react to it, but at least But he was my former boss, so I guess he kind of still believes me.
I like to think that at the end of the day, like, of course the labels, the internet is disrupting the revenue stream, but at the end of the day I like to think they are open to it because the whole culture has changed. Their dinosaurial model of we put thousands of CDs in thousands of stores, which was what they were great at. Like, Harry Potter would never have become so big without a massive publisher behind it. The distribution, but that is totally disrupted now. So I like to think that they are open, and like in the US and in Europe, the labels have already changed their strategy. years ago you signed up with a label and you made all the revenue from performance.
Yeah.
But now even the next Glee winner or whatever, if they sign up, they already take the same cut they take from albums from performance.
Yeah.
And the artist only gets, because the labels, it's a massive million industry, so if they're, the 4 top labels all invested in Spotify.
Yeah.
Rather than being disrupted, if you can't beat them, you join them.
Yeah.
So I like to think they know what is going on in the space. Are they ready for it due to their slow structure setup?
Yeah.
That's a different matter, but I'm waiting for the first label to actually buy out Bandcamp.
Yeah.
Because so many indie artists who before would have begged to be signed by a label, now make their own revenue and the labels get no cut. If you look at Last FM was CBS, was MTV, it's all tied together. And that one for, what was it, 300 million 4 years ago?
Yeah.
So they have a vested interest, but are they ready for it?
Hey, Mony, tell me, what exactly do you need from the large labels? Why did you have to present to them? Are you out to change them, or can you actually just operate in spite of them, just like what Dave's doing?
Well, the reason actually, first of all, that I approached them is I have a friend or two who has some ideas that they wanted to launch, and then they were looking for to me for help to link them to the labels. And then of course, I mean, the way the labels work, you should license, if you want our content, license it up front.
Yeah, okay.
And that's an exorbitant fee. I mean,
right, because of the content database.
Because of the content, So I figured, I think it would help these guys like them if the label knew how startups like these operate and what they want to do. When I initially broached this idea, let's talk in that roundtable. Let's talk about startups. Before that, when they were approached by this friend of mine, they were saying, because we really didn't see him being sustainable because it's a one-man operation or one or two. I mean, if you would listen to their ideas, they think of ideas specifically to scale. And if you're not sure how that works, there's a community here that could help you see if whatever they're pitching to you is scalable. So we're at that level. It's just an intro, and again, one of the labels picked up. So hopefully,
so that's what you really need something from them, the content.
Well, some of the
projects.
The projects.
What about, why not go through a third party like RD.io or Groove Shark, which actually have a curated, groomed database of streamable content, searchable. Rather than, these guys are already in the tech space. They're probably easier to talk to.
Yeah.
And rather than try to go to the.
I guess it's also. The thing about licensing content from the labels being, they're really done locally. So even if I talk to a Groove Shark or wherever they are, if the labels would probably knock at your door and say, okay, you're streaming content from our principals, so and you have to license it through us.
Okay.
So it's that whole.
Can that happen?
But that's done nationally.
Yeah.
There's a national structure that sort of like prevents you from...
Yeah, like when I was in Cyprus, we had no access to a EMI on YouTube.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. YouTube and EMI did not.
So that's the whole...
the Rickroll.
Yeah.
What most people don't know, like the first 2 years that the Rickroll was an internet meme, you could not Rickroll an American. Because Sony actually discovered, hey, this is popular. Hey, YouTube, you have not paid any royalties on it, and we're going to ask for more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's country
but I'm talking about those third-party providers actually have licensing arrangement already with the labels, right?
Actually, yeah. I
So
think
is it possible to operate under that kind of umbrella?
Yeah, that could work. But again, I guess it's some of these startup ideas. It's not like common. I mean, if I wanted music, I'll go to a label.
Yeah.
So that's it. So that's the whole thing about the discussion I wanted to have at that level. You know, if we can come up with a system where, you know, at least a platform where we can all talk and say, you know, okay, if you want to do this, you might have this option or so, and so on.
Right, because I'm actually doing a project right now,
Yeah.
and all it takes is an email, maybe a couple of days before they get back to you. This is what I plan to do.
Yeah.
The guys email said, okay, just let us know what you were building when you're at a certain stage, and maybe we can work together.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's like hugs and kisses all the way. I mean, it sounds like you're really having a hard time trying to get the same thing from the wrong people where it's actually available already.
Yeah, but
Right?
you know, that's
I know that RDI.io is not available here.
Yeah.
It's not allowed, but you know, you can always have a server in the States.
Yeah.
Of course, the audience won't be able, if you're in the Philippines, you won't be able to listen to that.
Yeah.
You know, maybe sooner or later they'll clamp down and say you're not supposed to broadcast that, to a Filipino IP address. So who knows, right?
Yeah.
But since Spotify's sort of like on its way here, I mean,
Yes.
It is.
keeping it to the Philippines, and we don't know what's going to happen in the future, right?
Yeah.
It's just going to open up. It's all upside. That's what I'm saying, I guess.
It will.
Well, one of the biggest platforms, I think, when they were free here with music in the Philippines was also Last FM. Because Last FM was really popular here. But then after the acquisition, a lot of catalog was taken out.
Right.
But, what do you think does the local startup scene need to make it easier to get open doors at labels? Because I think while I'm sure that they keep tabs on everything which is going, the new startups and everything, they know them. I mean, they disrupt them. They have to know what is the danger. And to discuss like...
They probably even use them.
Yeah,
Right?
probably.
Personally.
And they discover new indie bands via IndieFi. They may use them also to know on whose door are we going to knock to sign up.
Right.
But like they need to know what is eating at their base of their pyramid and what will knock them down. But like usually, I think right now, and I can understand them, they have invested millions in years, and they are not going to say, okay, you're online, we're not going to be a nag about royalties, because they still, if they're not, their revenue model just falls, breaks in. So for them it's that dinosaurial attitude, and they will fight until they die. But if that stream dies, they are ready. I would like to think.
They are.
Are the local label offices actually able to make that kind of decision if ever they say, you know what, this is a great idea?
Well,
or do they have to go to
this is what happened with everything, when sales was really, you know, problematic and diving, was the labels. When we were in the mid 90s, when it was really a big market, you had a Warner Music affiliate opening up. Previously, they worked through a licensee, a distributor. A Sony opened the first local affiliate, fully owned local affiliate was Sony. So they opened around 95, 96. Now, they all closed shop. They're working again through distributors, licensees. And these licensees are the same licensees they had back in the 60s and 70s.
Okay.
It's the same people.
So they still
You're
have
talking about dinosaurs?
Yeah, so they cannot. They can't really make any decision even if they wanted to.
Well, actually, I would think the last surviving local affiliate here would be, but it's MCA Music. So something like that. I think. I mean, since everyone, all their everywhere else, they're open to new stuff, to innovation. I guess that's a culture that the local office is also try to do as well, because
Right.
they did a deal with telco to bundle like
Ringtones.
no, actually music
Music downloads.
downloads
Yeah.
for like a month. You have X amount
Yeah.
as a bundle. So there are things, I would think those labels.
Well, the rumor kitchen has it that there is a really big thing to land on the Philippines with the telco.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they've got the cloud.
Yeah.
They can influence.
Yeah.
There's millions of users.
Yeah.
It's easy for them to equate that into to the dollars and cents.
But I mean, as far as the music industry as a whole, we've seen a lot of disruption and we've seen change. But
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, it still comes down to geographical territories. That they're still using this model based on, frankly, where my billing address is. You know, I mean, I'm a Spotify user
Yeah.
because I still have a billing address in the US,
Yes,
and
yeah.
I can use that to sign up.
Yeah.
And I can stream from here, no problem,
Yeah.
because I have a billing address there.
Yeah.
And you know, we have some different, like, activate your T-shirt. We're trying to basically make some workarounds for that, but I don't realize, you know, from the industry standpoint, why they're not seeing that issue and why they're not being more open about it. Because at the end of the day, if they open up the system, they're still going to make money. It's just they may have different revenue
Yeah.
streams.
I think it is also because every country has its own office and they are controlled by the mothership, but they have their targets.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And together with targets comes a bonus model.
yeah,
If you go to a global structure, the bonus model change and suddenly those people, they don't need to optimize but anymore.
Right.
In their accounting and their books, they
Yeah.
just become salespeople.
Yeah.
yeah. No, I agree, but I think it's still ripe for disruption. You know, I mean, someone can still. There's a lot of change that can still happen. So.
As long as there will be VPNs, I'm happy.
Yeah. Are we gonna talk about VPNs now?
It's about music, so VPNs are
Right.
important. But no, we should not do that. And Jay, what do you think in the startup scene? We so often say like, it's buzzing, it's thriving. Do you think in the Philippines the startup scene music is a main topic? Is an active topic? We've seen several startup weekends and
Yeah,
everything.
No, I don't think so. I think we've only seen a few since we started, and well, how many have we seen in the startup weekends? Very, very little, right? Zero, in fact, except until you had a music.
The Friday, which they had 4.
Oh, there were four
They had four.
music projects.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess that reflects the outside world, what's going on in the startup scene. I'm sure there are a lot of music startups out there, or people trying to do something. Maybe all it takes is somebody like Mony to maybe aggregate, or maybe even Franky, write it to Bobbery. 10 music startups out of the Philippines, just to get it out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not just for customers to use it, but for other guys to be inspired to build a music startup. I know a lot of the startup guys I know are everybody's hot on music. They've got everybody loves to listen.
That's a weird thing. I've always, and if I look internationally, like music is omnipresent.
Yeah.
Music startups, at the end of the day, there is not so much. Spotify made it because it first came. I was in the UK, that was in Sweden. Sweden had the optimal infrastructure, fast internet. They streamed in OGG Vorbis format, high quality format. The Swedes were on the train. You traveled through the country and you had good connectivity. Then it came to Europe, initially free when they were still negotiating with the labels for funding. But at the end of the day, what had happened already was YouTube playlists.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like I assume in the Philippines, with how big YouTube is, I assume for many people, YouTube playlists, music on YouTube has replaced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we have like Bandcamp. Bandcamp, I found some artists, but I don't think it's really popular in the Philippines.
Because you have to have a PayPal account.
Do you?
Really?
Yeah.
Indie Shuffle, have you tried it?
No.
That's pretty cool.
And SoundCloud, you have a lot of Pinoys on as well, on SoundCloud. But other than that, if you take away those big brands, yes, you will find, just like a bakery, you will find an indie on every corner.
Right.
But there is very little that gains traction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And why do you think that is? Is that still due to the global power of labels and everything?
Well, that's one thing I'm trying to teach my students, because basically what I encounter through I've been teaching these kids for a while. And what I encounter is that whole, I have to have an album, I have to have a video, I have to it's still there.
Yeah, the model.
They really have to learn that.
Yeah.
And it's only now, I've been teaching for about a little over 10 years. It's only now that I'm seeing some at least some promise in terms of, let's do things differently. Let's but it's still now, and I still hear a lot of kids saying, I'll record an EP, give me 6 months, I'll record an EP, I'll spend this much, and then
Well, it's really simple enough to figure out what the future behavior will be. All you gotta do is look at your kids.
Yeah.
Play with an iPad.
Yeah.
All right. Or a Mac or a PC.
Yeah.
Okay, my daughter listens to music over YouTube. I said YouTube playlist, exactly. Right?
Yeah.
Then same thing on an iPad.
Yeah.
Streamed YouTube videos. At the same time, there's this that thing Songza.
Yeah.
Right. There's now they recognize now the recommendation engine capabilities of these platforms. They just pick one song,
Yeah.
and these are kids.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the user of the future.
But
They'll expect that.
Yeah. The kids, they show us how we are in 2 years going to use a platform.
Yeah.
They don't expect it.
For me, I took a post on GigaOM, which Ohm wrote about Siri. When Siri was announced, I thought I'm not going to stand at the supermarket, flip out my phone and talk to my phone.
Yeah.
And no, I don't want to be that douche tooth guy. It's now like with the watches coming, if one person does it, kids, Knight Rider style, it's cool. If 200 persons at the bell stand there, you want to take your baseball bat.
Right.
But he wrote, when Siri was announced, his daughter would take the Android tablet before, where was S-Voice on, they had the Galaxy Note, and she would shout at the tablet, 3 years old, shout penguins.
Yeah.
And Google would show results for penguins, and she would tap on the videos on YouTube.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And then he said, before Siri came, she actually did the same to the iPad, and she said iPad broke.
Right.
Because it didn't have voice recognition.
Yeah. But you know how it's going to be, right? I mean, you're going to set up your kids' machines so that, okay, this is how you listen to music. Okay, here's iTunes, here's some playlists that I've made for you, and never use it. We'll go straight to, once they discover YouTube, that's it.
No, it's true. I mean, and I'm not sure even MTV intended for that to happen, but music videos, I remember when MTV came out. I was alive then, but it was revolutionary, and now
We know when MTV still, you mean when they still played music?
exactly. And look at it now, but also look at, here's a video platform like YouTube being used as basically an audio playlist.
Right.
You keep your tab open, but you're doing something else in your browser.
And it's not even, sometimes it's not even videos.
Yeah.
It's an audio track.
Or here it's the karaoke, so it's the words, so they can learn how to perform it.
Right. So
Yeah.
that's the future.
This.
Now, are the labels? Do they see that? They should. Maybe their kids are doing it.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, of course, if it's stuff on YouTube, I mean, if you're talking about international content and stuff, they're onto it already.
Right.
Because they have all the international people handling that. Local stuff, I guess they just mirror that. So they'll be there. So
That's cool.
And that is a good thing on YouTube. Not too much is blocked in the Philippines.
yeah,
Pretty much every music is accessible. Huh?
yeah.
So in music startups local, what is going on you particularly? Like what did you pitch to the labels?
No, I just gave them like a quick over what at least I know is out there and working. I talked about Indify to them. I talked about Rocket Dub. I think it was just that because there aren't much. But I just mentioned that I know there are people who come to you who ask for your content that are startups. You might want to listen to them and see, they might have something.
Right.
And actually, I just ended the presentation and said, rather than you catching up, you might as well just initiate it. You might as well disrupt yourselves.
Right.
Yeah.
So hire some guy to, from outside to give some insight on what's going on and some disruptor.
Yeah. It's well, that meeting, while most of them left, because I was the last on the agenda. So 12 o'clock,
just
half
before
of the
dinner.
room, half of the room.
Just for
left.
lunch. Oh,
Yeah, half of the room left. But well, it's encouraging because at least we said let's take it a step further. Let's they have like a business development committee that you talk to our guys on this committee and then let's see what we can do. And then yes, and one of the labels approached me and said, let's talk, let's see what we can do together. So hopefully that's something that starts off something.
Right.
Yeah.
I just want to have, I guess, have that consciousness, that awareness on startups and the possibilities. If they're not working on it right now, just probably eventually they will, hopefully. So at least at that level, they're aware now.
So I saw that Twinkie, like the mayor, showed up at Startup Week.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
That's
yeah.
funny. How'd you find it?
Yeah, she was really intrigued, but she was intrigued not by the music pitches, but some of
By
the
the
other
other-
stuff.
Oh, okay.
Some of
So
the
it's
other
the
stuff.
format itself.
Yeah, she was intrigued.
Well,
by it.
I'm hoping that somebody in the music space would actually take that model and take
Yeah.
that format
Yeah.
and try to do something in that
Yeah.
sphere, right?
Yeah.
We should organize a hackathon. No, not a talkathon, a hackathon, where Mony gets his friends from the labels in, and the guys in the scene, they show how they will disrupt
Right.
the labels in some years.
Right.
We're just brainstorming and hacking together, guys. These are
Actually,
the
it's not a bad
ideas.
idea, man. I mean, I was on to Pao yesterday.
Both way.
I was on to Pao during Startup Weekend, and he said that in Cannes, they actually have the same type of thing for the advertising industry,
Yeah.
but they also subject the clients to the same thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
So the clients are actually being given a mission to put together a campaign,
Yeah.
a brief.
Yeah.
So they experience it themselves. So maybe
Yeah.
that's the same thing that you can do with the music and the labels. Invite them. Hey,
Yeah.
you join this team. You join this team. You join
Yeah.
this team. Then
Yeah, just over the weekend when during startup weekend, I know a couple. I talked to a couple of guys that I just chanced on them. They were listening to they had their projects up, their small projects that are music, like a music player, I mean, it's cool. They do stuff,
Yeah.
but of course this is all their like personal projects.
Right.
But it's they want to do stuff. I think. I mean, in that space. But then they're all clandestine,
yeah. Okay. Could it be a matter of generations? You just wait long enough, and then the old ones will just die away and disappear, and then you'll have the guys that are the Gen Y start getting into the
I think they will eventually.
right.
I mean, with those series of meetings, they are opening up.
Oh, okay.
They
That's
are
cool.
opening up.
That's good.
I would assume they are opening up because their revenues are going down generally. And the impact of iTunes is not to deny. We have shifted from, no matter whether they will publicly admit it, we're
Yeah.
not in an album culture anymore.
Yeah.
We're in a single track culture now.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Finally, we do not have to pay for those 60%.
I think
Album
they
filler.
admitted, remember that roundtable? They
Yeah.
admitted that we no longer look at the retail music
Yeah.
business as business,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? It's
Yeah.
really just licensing content.
Yeah.
That's what they're out for.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course, it's a catch-22 always, especially for indie artists.
Right.
That is one of the things I like about Ndify. It's not because you've uploaded your music to SoundCloud or to YouTube that we actually find it.
Right.
Yeah.
Because there is so much out
Yes,
there.
So much out there.
And Ndify caters to the long tail.
Yeah.
So it's easier, there is more discovery, but at the end of the day, the musician, very often they will think like, I gotta be on Bandcamp, I gotta be on
Yeah.
SoundCloud, on YouTube, I have to be everywhere.
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I don't think that's necessarily true that they have to be everywhere, but I think that's the beauty of something like Indify is that it really does help them figure out what they should be doing and how to get that market, how to propel themselves. Because in a lot of ways, I think indie musicians are like startups in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really hard, but if you can bootstrap yourself and
Yeah.
just kind of pull yourself up, then that's the best way to go. But it's a challenging market.
How do you guys find the new MySpace?
I
It's
signed
supposed to be
up.
music centric, right?
Yeah.
I signed up, and that's about it.
I haven't used it.
Uh-huh.
I checked it out and I was
Couldn't
thinking,
figure it out.
no, I actually, first I thought, did I install Windows?
Yeah.
But no, I checked it out and actually my impression was, come on Justin, you didn't need MySpace to sell a new single.
Right.
Because like he was everywhere, you could not delete him.
Yeah.
It was like everywhere you had a Justin thumbnail. But actually they forgot on one thing that was a major failure. They deleted the artist pages. So they said, okay, for years, for 3 to 4 years until Facebook came, you have been promoting yourself. We had some things like events that we still do better than Facebook. Now you have 30,000 followers. Screw you. You can start all over, and that is the issue. Like that, Multiply. Christian nailed it perfectly. Why was everyone on Multiply? Every store, you don't need to promote your URL.
Right.
It's a discovery tool. It's like eBay search. It gives you results from everywhere, from every store, and then that has disappeared. Those bands have, for years, those artists been building their following, and Justin give them, I'm putting the sexy back, and I don't care about you.
Yeah.
So those bands, they all said we're staying on Facebook. Despite that it's not so easy to upload and everything, it doesn't aggregate, but now in the last years we've invested time in Facebook. We're not beginning all
You know
over.
how-
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have 2 more minutes. So,
So did you talk about the startup weekend experience yet?
no.
Yeah. I want to hear about that.
Yeah.
I mean, you won, right?
Yeah.
So,
So you were at Startup Weekend and there was this music startup.
Yeah. Actually, it was an idea that my teammate came up with. He's a musician, arranger. He's a composer. He was a student of mine in Mint, and then he felt he connected to that need and of wanting to collaborate. So the product, which became Audition, was proposed to be a music collaboration platform, which has social networking functions and multi-tracking. So it's almost like SoundCloud, but it's multi-track.
multi-track.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Are you gonna continue it?
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
All right.
Definitely.
Together.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good.
Keep us updated.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
That's hopefully
When do you plan to launch?
Well, we're
Why?
meeting up this weekend to fresh things up. But
You do know that the launch garage pitches are open, huh? So they can
Yeah,
pitch to
yeah.
launch garage.
Yeah.
Well, we'll probably. Yeah, I think we probably will.
Yeah, why not apply?
Yeah, you should.
Definitely.
You should.
We will. We will. So yeah, we're meeting up this weekend and hope. Well, we managed to keep the team. So, well,
You didn't fight, huh?
Yeah, we did.
No fights.
Almost.
Really?
Almost.
Remember that there was that night where it was a pretty intense mentoring. That was the eve, right? The Saturday night.
Yeah.
Everybody started. There were a lot of guys.
Yeah.
In the what's that place? The cafeteria.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah. And that was
All
the.
there. I even thought some of the guys that were not part of the team were actually part of the team. So.
Yeah.
Okay, who's
really?
Yeah. That was
Okay,
great.
guys, we have to finish. Thanks for coming, Mony.
Thank
Thanks for coming, Dave.
No, thanks for having me.
Next time you're in Manila,
I'll come by.
you just hop over and join us
Will do.
on the show. Thanks to the people at Beyond the Box
Yeah.
for hosting New Media Factory, who produced the show. Check out nmfnetwork.tv, where there are now more than 10 podcast shows live every week. You can also download all of them via iTunes. And lastly, thanks for joining, Jay. You had to wait a little longer because you came too late as well. So I'm out here. You
Okay.
missed it again. You would say you would run off first.
Yeah.